Any other parties identified?
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is FBSS worker. I'm looking here to see if I can find her. Gia, there's Gia Hamilton, Judge, sorry.
Judge Kim Shaw representing the parents, and they're present, Your Honor.
Leanne Fouts, attorney ad litem, present.
All right, Ms. Hamilton, tell me how Ms. Mendieta and Mr. Cruz are doing in services this month.
We've had quite a bit of improvement since our last court hearing. They are allowing us in the home. We have an HST going in the home twice a week. St. Francis is in the home 2 other days. So that's 4 days a week we have someone in the home. They are working really hard with us. We've been getting some documents such as birth certificates and social security cards for them. We did have a meeting yesterday, St. Francis and I met with the parents. I thought it was probably the best communication we've had with the family, and hopefully they enjoyed it. We set time frames. Dad did turn in the application. He will have a job within a week. They're going to turn in a daycare application for Promise. They're doing good. They are being transported to our office 1 day out of the week so they can shower because we continue to have no water in the home. They are asking for help getting into housing. They're seeing Dr. Skinner. I've not confirmed that, but Mom stated they've had 2 sessions, I believe, with her and have another one scheduled. She was the previous counselor, so they requested to work with her. I think that's a great idea. She knows their history. We're moving forward. I did express to him yesterday there would be concern after we had all the documents and stuff that they needed that they would not let us in the home again. And Mom said, no, that's not going to happen. The only thing we have right now is we're trying to figure out how to get some clothes washed for them. And we'll have a solution hopefully this next week so we can get them some clean clothes. Mom isn't attending her GED classes. She took the practice test and reported that she passed it. Kids look healthy and happy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of impressed, with the last couple of weeks, how they've been out there hustling with us.
Okay, very good. Is there been anything this month that you have asked the parents to do that they haven't?
I don't think so. I mean, Mom's real good and Dad's real good to ask us for help. Like we're having issues with the birth certificate for Oliver. It's just going to take a little longer. He was born in the home, but they reached out. They had an appointment in November and just missed it. But they're pretty verbal to ask for help with anything. The only issue I think we have, and I talked to Mom and Dad about it, is, they operate in one room in their trailer because they don't want to use heat on the whole house. And, we're doing our sessions in a bedroom and it is a little awkward for us. But one of the things is court ordered is, housing or in parent, like cleaning and all that. So I did talk to parents. They have 2 heaters and we're in their room in the house doing that. They can leave 1 heater in the bedroom and take a heater in the room that our HST is working with them on. And they seemed open. It's just they're really open right now, and I really hope it continues.
Okay. Oh, that sounds very good, Mr. Shaw. Anything to add on behalf of your clients?
No, Your Honor, they're making progress, and I'm happy with how they're going.
Ms. Fouts, any concerns with the children or the family?
No, I agree. This is a big turnaround, and I'm really, really encouraged.
Me too. I see Brianna and Jared on the screen there. You folks agree, or y'all are making progress?
Yes, ma'am. I think we got a good plan, and just everybody working together, like Gia said. Us having that meeting yesterday really helped us out, and just having open communication, and of course, making sure we do our part, making sure we answer our door, sticking to our word and stuff. I told them I was going to make sure I turned in an application this morning, which I went ahead and did, and just making sure, staying honest and just being mature, being adults.
I love it. Okay. Very proud of both of you. That is a much better report than last time. Let's just keep it up. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll have another review hearing May the 17th at 9 a.m. Good job, guys.
Thank you. Julie
Right,
Panger with the
adjourned.
department.
Thank you.
Oh, let's see on page 2. Oh, there, I see her. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Becky Hernandez.
Arlene Watson on behalf of the child.
All right, Ms. Hernandez, tell me about Netto. Where's Netto placed? How is he doing?
Netto's still placing a kinship home. He just turned 2 years old on the 13th. He is a happy little boy. He is doing great. His last medical appointment was on the 23rd, which I know, speaking to mom, he's fixing to have a new one since he just turned 2 years old. So his two-year checkup is coming up. He's up to date on all his shots. His last dental appointment was on August 8th. Mom stated that he is healthy. There's no concerns. He's not on medication, and he is on target. I know the only thing we're missing on this is his birth certificate, so we can get the adoption rolling, and that's the only thing we're missing.
Okay, where are we at on that? We've been missing that for some time now.
Yeah, we expedited the check in, I want to say December. If Dakota's on here, she can correct me, but she sent an expedited check around December, and we still haven't heard anything from Austin.
Dakota, talk to me. What is the holdup? Miss Miller, you're not on mute, but I can't hear you. That's all right. While we're figuring that out, Mr. Watson, do you have any concerns with Netto?
No, Judge, other than wanting to finalize the adoption. That's it. Same concerns as the court.
Yeah, I know birth certificates are hard to get our hands on when we're born at home, but we had our final hearing in this case in December of 22, so I don't understand. It shouldn't be taking this long.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So the first time that they sent it back, it's been for very silly things. The first time that they sent the birth certificate back, they said that the picture of the ID of the worker was too blurry. They didn't put that they wanted his driver's license. So the second time we sent it, we had a clear picture of his driver's license and a clear picture of his badge. And then they denied it the third time, telling us that they wanted us to pay for it because it had been so long. So that's why this time we sent the $22 that they wanted us to pay, and we sent, I think it was almost $40 for an expedited fee, and that was in December. So the expedited fee said 15 days. Obviously, it's been more than 15 days. So I don't really know what we can do, and they won't let us go to just the vital statistics office in Lubbock for this birth certificate because of the home birth. But that's all that they said they needed this time was the $22. So we're hoping that this time will work. And it's not just this child. We have one more child in your court that we're dealing with. We've sent the birth certificate requests at the same time, and they just send one correction at a time. So we're hoping with this expedited fee and this last go round will be the one.
Okay, if we're back here for another permanency hearing on Netto, Ms. Pinger, let's invite these birth certificate people.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I'd be happy to visit with them myself.
Absolutely.
Bring their phone number with you, Ms. Miller, and we'll call them during the middle of a hearing, and I'll talk to them.
Yes, ma'am.
And it won't be a nice conversation.
And we'll get subpoenas, Judge, ahead of time to get them there. So absolutely.
Great.
That would help all of us for you to do that, because this is an ongoing problem anytime you're asking for a birth certificate from them.
Yeah, especially when you have home births. I know that it definitely complicates things. But happy to have some hard conversations with people who aren't very cooperative, and the next time we're here if I need to. Okay, I'll set another review hearing May the 17th at 9 if we need one, but hopefully not. Okay, we'll be adjourned. Thank y'all.
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Charbra Lee.
Leanne Fouts, attorney for Catalina, present, ready.
Okay, Ms. Lee, tell me about Catalina. Where is she placed and how is she doing?
Judge, I hate to interrupt. I tried to get on before the announcements. Do you mind putting me in a breakout room with Melina Gomez and Christopher Ducket?
I don't mind at all.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Lee, tell me about Catalina. Where is she currently placed?
Catalina is, she just recently moved back with her grandma. She is still not cooperating with anything I ask her to do. she's refusing to participate in any type of anything in school, going to the doctor. I actually had spent time yesterday setting up Zoom with Amelia because she wanted to be on court, but some reason she wasn't able to get on. So they're just wanting to end whatever type of relationship they can with St. Francis. Catalina just states that she's tired of us intruding in her life. And sometimes she's not trying to talk to me. She's not willing to talk to me. Amelia is just, she does whatever I need her to do. They're just wanting to end everything.
Okay, the last time we were here, a very similar report in the plan, Ms. Pinger, was for you to meet with the parties to transfer PMC to her. Where are we at on that?
We have we've set up meetings. We've tried to set up meetings, and I know a couple of times Ms. Alvarado wasn't able to make it. I think everybody is leaning in that direction. We just have not been able to have that meeting set up with her to finalize what her plans are and what she's able to do. But I really tend to think everybody's leaning that direction. It's just having that final meeting with her to make sure.
And Judge, I would just say at this point, I think we just need to draft the order, get it signed. I don't know that I think we're just spinning our wheels. And so the reason for that final order is to give her the power to do what she needs to do, take care of Catalina. So I don't know that it's really a question of having a meeting and meeting with her. I mean, I think she's committed to doing it. She just needs the legal power to be able to take care of her.
Yeah, I don't think a meeting is necessary, Ms. Pinger. Just draw up the order and have Ms. Lee go and take it over and have her sign it.
Okay, I'll do that, Judge.
Great.
Hopefully Ms. Alvarado understands, though, what she's taking on here. She's a 17-year-old girl not in school, truancy issues, and all kinds of problems associated with her not going to the doctor, not going to school, and not doing anything that grandma was asking her to do. There's a whole lot of problems associated with that, but I'm not happy about it. But Catalina is 17 years old, and I'm not sure her being on the run is a better situation. So I'm fine with signing an order, and Ms. Alvarado just needs to sign the order, and then I will. Okay, I'll set another review hearing May 17th at 9. Parties identified. All right, we'll be adjourned. Thank you all.
With the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Zona Ramsey.
Ms. Murray, I didn't hear you.
Did you not hear? Can you not hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
I'm having some computer issues. Lindsay Murray on behalf of the child.
Okay. All right, tell me about Josiah. Where's Josiah placed?
Josiah is placed at Brownstone Residential in Houston, Texas.
Okay, same placement. Tell me, how is he doing?
He's doing okay. Health-wise, he hasn't been sick. He's been doing all right. We have been having some behavior issues, which is the same as last time. He hasn't been getting in trouble with vapes, so we haven't had illegal instances, but he's just been having some behavior issues. He doesn't want to listen. He doesn't want to follow dress code while at school, and he's just having some behavior issues right now.
Okay, what is the placement in the school doing about those?
Well, we had a few issues where he was so he goes to Worthing. Nope, he goes to Prep, and he used to go to Worthing. So he would try to go to Worthing, and he got in a few troubles because he was like trying to go see a teacher. His story changes every time, but he's just getting in a lot of trouble. I'm so sorry, y'all. I have COVID. My mind is a little jumbled, but let me get back on track. What they're doing about it is that placement is trying to take away, like, what is it? Not redirection, but they're trying to show him like what happens if he does continue to get in trouble, is he can get into legal trouble. He can get into all kinds of other issues that are similar to that. So they're trying to show him what it looks like in the future, as well as like what getting in trouble looks like at school. So he's had like if they don't want to be putting him in ISS every time, but that's what they're starting to have to do, is getting him into those more intense troubles, because they don't want to have to kick him out, but he needs to be going to school. So it's a weird middle ground.
Is he in therapy?
Yes, he's in weekly therapy, and he's also in weekly life skills. So they're trying to address his behavior issues there as well.
What is the therapist reporting about the behavior issues? Can we figure out where they're coming from?
A lot of it has to do with, when I've talked to her, a lot of it has to do with, I think he's struggling just being in Houston, because a lot of his siblings are still in Lynn County. So they think a lot of it has to do with how far he is, but he has been in the placement for some time, that the adjustment should be there. I know that he's just wanting certain things. I think a lot of it is normalcy as well. So he went through his PAL classes and completed those. And what we've been trying to do is get him his driver's license, but he needs his birth certificate and his social security card. We had those originally, but when he was placed in Colorado, they were mailed there. So now I'm in the process of requesting a new social security card and a new birth certificate, because I can't get in contact with the Colorado previous placement. So that's kind of another way we're trying to see if that'll help get him into driver's ed and everything similar.
Okay. Are there any fun activities, anything that he can do at this placement?
They do go to the Y. He plays basketball. He's allowed to work out. I know that some of the behavior issues might also go to, he was doing ROTC at Worthing, but now that he's not at Worthing, he doesn't do ROTC, but they try to keep him going to the Y and having as many social activities as he can at the placement and there as well.
Okay. Does he still want to go into the military after school?
From what I've talked about, yes, he does want to continue to go into the Navy.
Are there any recruitment offices in the neighborhood that maybe we can set him up with to see if we can get him on track to do that?
In Houston, I'm sure there is. I can get in contact with placement and try to see what we can do regarding that.
I think maybe getting him excited about the end of school and helping maybe a recruitment officer, helping him understand the importance of finishing school and not getting into ISS and all of that, can motivate him a little bit. And excite him a little bit about that goal, because it's a great goal. I don't know when they take the test to get into the military, the ASVAB, but are there some preparation courses that he needs to be taking?
I'm not sure. I know that they're like a practice test that they can take for the ASVAB, and I can see if we can start getting him start practicing there as well.
I think if we can get him maybe focused on that goal, if that is still his goal, maybe it can distract him from these behavior issues and get him focused on something positive. Maybe it might help.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You said he's healthy, no medical issues?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Right. Is he on any medications?
He is on medication to help with his ADHD and his anxiety.
Okay. Does he have contact with his siblings?
So contact with his siblings have been a little weird. There is one or two that just don't want to talk to him. And that has been a continued struggle between me and him, is that like I'll call not their placement, but their home, and they don't call me back. So it's like, I know that he can contact a few of them through social media, and I encourage him to do that every chance, he gets, as long as they're talking back. But for now, it's very minimal.
Okay, but St. Francis is doing everything you folks can do to try to encourage that contact and facilitate it?
Yes, I encourage him to contact them as long as they want to be contacted on social media, and I try to make contact with their home to see if we can set something up. And usually it's just that I don't get a call back from them, but I continually to try to, and so that way he knows too, like I am trying to set something up.
Okay. Do we have any placement options closer to this area to get him closer to his siblings?
Dakota might be better to answer on that. From what I know, he's in the best placement possible right now, but Dakota might have a better answer than I do.
There's no RTCs closer to this area, and with the behaviors that he's still having, there's no options right now for foster home.
How about Children's Home or Boys Ranch?
We can ask them.
I want him at Children's Home or Boys Ranch if there's an opening and they're willing to accept him. Okay. Ms. Murray?
Your Honor, I have been in contact with him. He has my cell phone number. He contacts me when he wants to ask for things and needs things. He seems to be doing well. I'll be real honest, the area in Houston where that placement is very concerning. That might be why some of his behaviors, I'm not blaming the area, but it might be why he has some of his certain behaviors. I will discuss it with him though. The placement house itself is safe and appropriate. The neighborhood is questionable. But I will reach out to him and discuss the importance of his behavior at school. He's always very respectful to me. I mean, I've had this guy for many, many years now, and I've watched him grow up in the system. And I honestly think for everything that he's been through, that he's doing really, really well.
Good. Okay, anything else on Josiah? All right, we'll have another review hearing May the 17th at 9. Identify.
Julie Panger with the department, also present as St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Lindsay Schroed.
Leanne Fouts, attorney ad litem, present ready.
Okay, are these children still with their grandmother?
Yes, they are.
Okay, Ms. Schroed, tell me how they're doing in Grandma's house.
The boys are they're really good kids. They don't have any behavioral problems. They do really well in school. Carson is looking forward to starting back in soccer, and Zane is going to be reffing in soccer this next season. They're up to date on all their medical and dental, and they're doing really well in their placement.
All right, they're healthy boys, no concerns medically?
No.
Okay. On any sort of medications?
No, they're not.
Good. Are they happy?
They are happy.
Okay. Other than soccer, what are they interested in?
Carson likes to play his video games on his Nintendo Switch, and then Zane got a new keyboard for his gaming on his computer for Christmas, and so he's really liking that. And he'll play football again too when that season starts back, but they're off right now for that.
Okay. And doing good. You said they're doing good in school. They're passing everything, good grades?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Spouts, any concerns with these boys?
No, not at all. You know, despite their age difference, they're very bonded to each other too. They've always done great in Grandma's home, so I have no concerns.
Okay. I think my notes indicate that Ms. Dickerson represents the grandmother. Tell me where we are as far as the adoption.
I don't know. The department will have to tell you.
We actually have our licensing on here. It's Annalisa Valdez, and she can answer some questions, all the questions regarding the licensing process and what they're going through right now.
And Judge, before I have her jump in and kind of give you some update, let me just explain to you that it has been a licensing issue that's gone on and on, just continued. We feel like we've kind of gotten it taken care of, and then something else comes up. Feel like we've gotten there, and then something else comes up. And St. Francis has really worked hard to try and get this resolved. There have been numerous emails back and forth, contacts back and forth. But we did ask for licensing to be on here to be able to kind of give you an update so that you're aware of what these issues are.
Okay, Annalisa, Ms. Valdez?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, tell me what the holdup is.
So the holdup right now is the risk eval that I've submitted to the CBCU. I have resubmitted it about 6 times, and every time I resubmit everything, they are requesting more information. And so recently I resubmitted. They are asking for charges that are not on his rap sheet. I was asked to provide information from LPD and the court about a charge in 1990. We escalated the issue up into the investigator's supervisor, and she gave me exactly what I needed to provide. I provided them that last week, and then they came back saying they needed more information on this 1990 charge, even though LPD and the court are saying they have no record of it.
When you
And so
say
every
they,
time I resubmit what they're asking, I'm sorry, the CBCU. Annette Martinez is the investigator that we work with.
what does that stand for?
Sorry, the Central Background Check Unit.
With who?
So they had asked for,
Hey, who are you
when we
talking
run
about?
the background checks,
Yeah, who do they work
the
for?
Central Background Check Unit, they run our background checks and provide eligibility for our foster parents.
Okay, who do you work for?
I work for the St. Francis CPA.
And Judge, that's the other side. That's not the case management side of St. Francis, where Lindsay. Okay.
Is there nobody else that can provide background checks for St. Francis other than this one group?
She is the only one that works for our licensing agency and I believe for the region.
Ms. Pinger, is there somebody with CPS that can provide these background checks for St. Francis?
I'll check on that today, Judge, to see if there's anybody else that can do that.
Ms. Pinger, I'm happy to order the department to get these background checks back to St. Francis this week. Send me an order.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you.
Just go completely around these people who are not cooperating, and I will order the department to provide background checks for the family to be done this week. Okay. Ms. Valdez, what else is holding us up?
That is the only holdup right now. The home study has been completed. All of their background checks have been completed. We're just waiting on Mr. Grove's background check to be done.
Okay. Ms. Fouts, is there anything else that you can think of that the court can do to try to speed this up?
No, it's very confusing to me. If there's no record of it from Lubbock, I don't understand what they keep popping up. That makes no sense to me, but I know they are frustrated. It needs to get done. The boys want it done. It needs to get done.
Okay. Anything else on the Gray Kids?
No, ma'am.
If we're back here for another permanency hearing, same thing. I want everybody here who's holding this thing up, subpoena everybody, and we're going to cross-examine folks, and I might sanction some folks. If Ms. Pinger, if you want to ask me for sanctions, Ms. Fouts, if you want to ask me for sanctions, get after it. I'm happy to start putting some feet to the fire.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. All right, we'll have another review hearing May 17th at 9, but we better not. Okay, we'll be adjourned. Thank y'all. Parties identified.
Thank you, Judge. Julie Pinger with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Becky Hernandez.
Leanne Fouts for the mother, Sandra Ortiz. She's on Zoom with us today.
Carding Watson on behalf of the baby.
All right, Ms. Pinger, what is the status of service on? I have 3 named possible fathers in the case.
Yes, ma'am. Judge, service by publication was requested through the Idalou Beacon. We do not have any returns on that yet, showing that that's been done. However, it has been requested and is pending.
Okay. All right. Tell me about Mariana. Where is she placed?
Mariana, she's placed in a foster home at the Boys and Girls Ranch. She is one month. And she's when I seen her, she is a healthy, pretty little girl. Her last checkup was on the 2nd. She was weighing at 7 pounds, 19 inches. And the doctor says she is a healthy little girl. There's no health concerns. She's not on any medication from what I've last known from Kayla. And she's thriving and eating good, 2 ounces every 3 hours. And she's sleeping like a newborn.
Sleeping like a newborn. What does that mean?
I can go both directions.
Kayla says she sleeps good, sleeping all night.
Good. Wow. All right. Very good. What is the status of the home study on Antonio and Carmen?
I spoke to Tony. He said he is not interested in doing the home study.
Okay. Mr. Watson, any concerns with Mariana?
Judge, no concerns. I was just curious what was going on with the home study, but caseworker has answered my questions, and I guess the department and Leanne and her client are also looking at other options to get the foster care.
Okay, Miss Ortiz, are you present? Sorry, I have two screens of people, so. Miss Ortiz, can you unmute yourself for me? Ms. Fouts, any concerns on behalf of Miss Ortiz?
Not with regard to Mariana. I think I guess I'm a little confused because I think she is under the impression that her brother and sister-in-law are willing to take PMC. I'm a little confused on them not being willing to do a home study. So I guess we need to follow up on that, or maybe Sandra can enlighten us if she can unmute.
Ms. Hernandez, what exactly did Tony say?
He said that his wife didn't feel comfortable. And when I even met with Sandra, I let her know that your brother is not interested. She said she kind of figured that was going to happen only because she feels they kind of don't want to be involved in the case. And I guess they feel like they're worried about that they have to do, I guess, attend court orders or they have to be drug tested. She said that a lot of false information was told to them. And I called Tony to call me and I can clear a bunch of things up about the home study and about being placement. And he said that his wife's just not interested in doing the home study. So
and Judge, I would have a question. And I heard Leanne say PMC to the brother. Was a conversation specifically had about CPS getting out and mom? And I guess we'd have the issue with the unknown dad, but you know, if he's served by publication, that I think that would take care of everything. But I'm guessing one was a conversation had about him being a part of the case, or mom early on in the case saying, "Hey, it's better for this baby to go to."
Family.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. I'm going to order a settlement conference with everybody and Miss Tony and Carmen. And because it sounds to me like the communication is we don't really want to be a temporary placement because we don't want to be involved in a CPS case, but maybe we're willing to take PMC of the child if CPS is not involved at all. It's kind of what I'm hearing.
That's what I think too.
If that's the case, and if Sandra Ortiz is in agreement, we're not terminating any father's rights. So if everybody's in agreement with transferring PMC to this family and they pass the background checks and the home study and all of that, let's see if the parties can reach an agreement. So I'll order a settlement conference before our next hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
But in the meantime, Ms. Hernandez, what is on Ms. Ortiz's plan of service?
So for Sandra's plan of service is to maintain contact with the department, maintain and obtain employment for the minimum of 6 months, maintain and obtain housing for the minimum of 6 months, child parent visits. She will have 2 hours once a week with Mariana, supervised by our FSW, a psychological assessment, individual counseling with Cynthia Bowens, parenting classes, substance abuse assessment, substance abuse group, random drug testing, and a mental health assessment.
All right, Ms. Bouts, any issues with that plan of service?
No, I can tell you, Judge, that my client has texted me. She's having trouble for whatever reason unmuting herself. She says it won't let her unmute, but she does not have any questions about the plan of service. I know that.
Okay, I will approve the plan of service, and I know that transportation has been a problem with Ms. Ortiz in other cases, and I think we talked about that issue at the adversary hearing as well. So Ms. Hernandez, what is St. Francis doing to make sure that Ms. Ortiz has transportation to all of these services?
Oh yeah, we've offered transportation various times to Sandra. Recently to go drug test for us, she refused it. She said the person that's letting her live in the back house will take her to these appointments, and I even there's been attempts where they just keep calling her just for transportation for drug tests, and she's not communicating.
Okay, but what about the services? Have any of the services been set up other than you asking for drug tests?
Parenting, I sent her a free link for free online parenting classes, and I did let her know as well for individual counseling we can drive her to Lubbock and drive her back home, but she stopped communicating with me since the 3rd.
Okay, is Ms. Ortiz living in Post?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are there any of these services that can be set up in Post?
I can ask Dakota about the counseling. I know I've asked her yesterday for my staffing. I think that's the only one that's in Lubbock. Drug testing, I don't know if there's any drug testing in Post that I'm aware of.
There's no services available in post. One of the reasons that we selected Miss Bowen Burns is because usually after they establish contact, she'll start doing virtual counseling. But again, one of the main problems with Miss Ortiz is maintaining contact with us so that we can get any of these things set up and that we can provide her transportation.
Okay.
I'll visit with her about that, Judge, and we'll go from there.
Okay, what about a plan of service for the alleged fathers? Establish paternity, and then we'll go from there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll approve that plan of service for the 3 alleged fathers that we have in the case. But again, I think a settlement conference sooner rather than later would be a really good idea in the case. But I'll set it for an initial permanency hearing May the 17th at 9. Okay, thank y'all. This is Melina Gomez and Christopher Ducket. Let me have the parties identified.
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is investigator Stephen Martinez.
Sarah Hedman, attorney for the parents, Melina Gomez and Christopher Ducket, present and ready, and they are present in the virtual courtroom.
Belinda Bling-Adlottom for the child, present and ready.
All right, Ms. Panger, what is the status of service on the parents?
There are no returns yet showing service yet, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Panger, this is a TFF case?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
All right. Ms. Hedman, are your clients in agreement with working the services the department is requesting?
Yes, Your Honor, they are.
All right. Ms. Eveline, are you also in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Based on the agreement of the parties, I will sign an order to participate for this family. Tell me what the concerns are with the family. What are the issues that we are trying to address with these folks?
Judge, do you want me to answer that? You want Stephen to go ahead?
Mr. Martinez, you want to chime
Yes,
in?
Yes, Your Honor. We want to address the substance abuse by both parents and order for the baby to live in a safe and healthy environment.
What drug are we talking about?
Cocaine and marijuana.
Okay. What are the services we're asking them to do?
Judge, I'll speak up on that as the FBSS worker. We're asking them to do drug testing, an OSAR assessment, counseling, and of course, the St. Francis services.
Okay. The family-centered treatment folks. Tell me more about, I know more about it, but I want the parents to make sure that they understand about it. What's involved in the family-centered treatment program?
All right. This is James Villanueva with the Family Center program. We will be going through 4 phases. The first phase is joining, getting to know the family, getting to know where the issues lie. Then we'll be doing restructuring, which is working on past issues and what they can do today to improve their lives and to move forward to become the family that they envision for themselves. We'll also be working on self-improvement, managing time management for the family, budgeting for the family, as well as figuring out their priorities and what they want to do to make sure that they maintain a healthy, supportive, positive environment. And then we'll go into phase 3, which is when they're just demonstrating and doing it on their own, into phase 4, which is the family giving project, which they will take what they will learn and they will put it out there with the family. I have met with this family already. And so they know that it is 2 hours each session, 2 times a week. And we are looking forward to working with them should they choose it.
Okay, Mr. Ducket, Ms. Gomez, y'all understand what's expected?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The idea is to make sure that CPS never gets called in relation to your family again. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What that means is providing a completely drug-free home for these kids. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and not just that, but also stability and financial security and safety. All of those things are very important. The TFF program works really well when the parents buy in and do the services and pay attention and learn. So every month we're going to gather on Zoom again, and I'm going to ask you what you're learning So you're going to need to answer questions for me about what you're learning in these services, okay?
Okay.
All right. It is a court order, so I can sanction you for failing to follow the court order. Usually the worst sanction that can come is to remove the child from your home. And I have done that in some TFF cases where parents are not participating like they need to. So you want to make sure that you're doing everything the department and the TFF folks are asking you to do, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a safety plan in place for the family?
Judge, at this time, we do not, because the baby was born premature and she's going to be in the hospital approximately another month. But definitely we're going to be reaching out to the support system to find the best safety monitor option prior to the baby being released.
Okay, you folks understand that your contact with the baby may need to be supervised for some time period.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
And you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else for the Ducket family?
I have one question, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
What does the contact with the baby look like as long as the baby's in the hospital?
We don't have any restrictions on that since they're in a monitored environment.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
So you guys can visit as much as you want to, and I would encourage you to visit as much as you want to. All right, I'm going to set your first review hearing February the 16th at 9. All right, anything else?
Not for me,
Okay.
Judge.
All right, thank y'all. We'll be adjourned.
For the department, also present is investigator Austin Farlander. And Judge, before we start the hearing, can I just request something on a different one?
Sure.
Can the parties in the Dickens County Carter case be put into a breakout room to discuss everything on that before we jump in on that case?
Sure.
Janet Clift-Williams, I'm the attorney for the respondent mother, and that's Lindsay Langdon, and she is present. I'm looking for her.
Yes.
She
right beside you.
I see her. Okay.
Jim Shaw representing the father. He is present also, Your Honor.
Lindsay Murray representing the children.
Okay. What is the status of service on these parents?
Both parents were personally served on January 11th.
All right. Ms. Penger, is this also a TFF case?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. Ms. Clift-Williams, are your clients in agreement with working the services the department is requesting?
Your Honor, I represent the mother, and Jim Shaw represents the father, but both of our clients are in agreement.
Mr. Shaw, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Murray, are you also in agreement?
Your Honor.
Okay, based on the parties' agreement, I will sign an order to participate for these parents. And I'm not sure who your investigator is, but whoever the investigator is, tell me about the issues with this family that we are trying to address.
Yes, ma'am. So the immediate concerns that brought the case to our attention were concerns of ongoing domestic violence, as well as a recent history of drug use. It appears that we've kind of mitigated the concerns of drug use, but it's definitely something that's still a pressing issue and something we want to make sure we take care of, like you said, to ensure that there's no more CPS in the future.
Okay. What are the services we are asking the parents to do?
Judge, we're asking them to do counseling where they can address anger management, drug testing, an OSAR assessment, and then, of course, the family-centered treatment program.
Okay. Ms. Langdon, can you unmute yourself? That's okay. Ms. Langdon, Mr. Taran, did you folks have a chance to hear in the previous hearing from Mr. Villanueva from the TFF program about what that is all about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't want to have him say all of those things again if you heard it in the previous hearing, but you understand the purpose of the case is to make sure that you folks can provide a safe and drug-free home for your children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you both willing to have the family-centered treatment folks in your home at least 4 hours a week to address budgeting, drugs, communication, better ways of dealing with anger, all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll be real honest with you folks. When I read the affidavit, I got real concerned about the seriousness of the allegations in this case and whether or not this was appropriate for a TFF case order to participate or whether or not we needed to remove these children from your home. It's a really close call. So I can't express to you folks enough the importance of getting involved in the services right away to make sure this court is comfortable that these children are safe in your home. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me from the department's perspective and the family center folks' perspective, what is the plan today to get started with this family and these services?
Judge, I can make sure they have all the information to get in contact with Richard Gatlin to get their counseling services scheduled. And I can provide him with the number for OSAR so they can go ahead and move in on that.
Okay, from the family center treatment side of things, when is our first appointment?
Your Honor, I am actually here right now. I'll be there FIS. So right after court, we will be meeting.
Great. Okay. All right, anything else for the Taran Langdon family? Ms. Murray, any concerns with the children?
Not at this time, Your Honor. I just hope this family decides to work the services that are necessary.
Okay, tell me, I didn't address this. Is there a safety plan for the family?
No, ma'am, not at this time. There was a safety plan to limit the contact during the investigation. However, it was determined that, the family preservation would be most effective with both parents in the home willing to work the services and willing to do what it takes to keep the children safe.
Okay. I'm going to set the first compliance review hearing March the 1st at 9 a.m. Ms. Langdon and Mr. Taran, I will question you on that day, what you're learning and what you've started, and certainly ask questions of the workers about how they feel about your progress. You need to understand this is a court order, and I can sanction you for failing to participate like you need to. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I will tell you right up front, again, with the allegations in this case and the safety concerns I have from the affidavit, I'm not going to have a whole lot of patience for not participating and not getting started right away in your services. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First review hearing March the 1st at 9. All right, we'll be adjourned. Thank y'all.
Julie Payne with the department, also president of St. Francis Permanency Specialist Frank Anguiano.
Leanne Fouts, I'm in my office with Dana Ashcroft, and we're present ready.
Jim Shaw representing the father. He's present ready, Your Honor.
Okay, Delinda Ebeline is our attorney and guardian ad litem, and she's working hard in a breakout room on another case right now, so we'll get her thoughts in just a moment. All right, tell me about Ricky. We'll take up the permanency hearing first. Where is Ricky?
Good morning, Your Honor. Ricky is currently placed with a foster home here in Lubbock. It's the same foster home that he's been in since he's been into care. Zayden is doing super well. He's healthy. He's happy. He's always wearing a cape when I see him. His balance and his gait and his movement has gotten a lot better in the last few months. He now can run and walk pretty, with a much stronger balance than he was. Speech therapy is still a little slow at times. If you don't know him really well, it's still hard to understand what he says sometimes. But he's working hard. He's just kind of getting through a little bit of a rough patch speech wise. But he's healthy. He's up to date in all his medical and dental. There's no health concerns at this time. Doing well in daycare, and he's a happy little boy right now.
We call him Zayden?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Parents okay with that?
My client calls him Ricky.
Okay. Miss Ashcroft, do you have any concerns with Zayden?
No, he's doing really well. I have had visits with him every week for the past several months, and he's doing really well. He's a happy little boy. We look forward to our visits very much, and we have a lot of fun. So I think he's coming along really well developmental wise. He's speaking a lot more fluently, and I think he's doing really well overall. And he does go by Zayden instead of Ricky, but yeah, that's all I have. Sorry.
All right, Mr. Harris, can you unmute yourself for me?
Yes, sorry about that.
That's okay. Do you have any concerns regarding Ricky?
No, I'm hoping that the agreement that we made where I could get the visitations better would be, I guess my main thing is just being able to visit him and see him because I'm so far away.
All right. Tell me how parents are doing in services.
Miss Ashcroft has completed has done everything we've asked her to. She has been in an apartment that it's nice and clean and well furnished for several months now. Her job is stable. She's been doing counseling with Peter Miller, and Peter Miller she'll be releasing her at the end of this month, and he's satisfied with her progress. She's met all the conditions of her probation that we've asked her to comply with, and that included getting a breathalyzer for her car that she now has, and she's done everything that we've asked, Your Honor. And Mr. Herrera's he's been going to counseling with Peggy Skinner, and she is satisfied with his progress. He has started his parenting classes with Fatherhood Fire. He had his orientation last week, and he'll be starting those classes soon. He's been having Zoom visits with Ricky for about 6 weeks now. He's missed a few of those, but they do go well whenever he's able to make them. So I think both parents are doing very well.
All right, Ms. Fouts, anything to add on behalf of Ms. Ashcroft regarding services?
No, ma'am. She's done awesome.
Sounds like it. Mr. Shaw, any concern or anything to add regarding your client's participation in services?
No, Your Honor. I believe the court remembers that my client works on a ranch in eastern Arizona, and his connection with the internet is not consistent. So the only time that he's missed the visits is when he's not available for being around the internet.
Okay. All right, the final hearing, Ms. Finger.
Yes, ma'am. Judge, the parties had a mediation this week. I can't remember.
It was Wednesday.
But the parties mediated and reached an agreement. I'll add that we've left that mediation open for some later discussions, but the parties are in agreement that a monitored return will begin. We're going to call it transitional since it's not set to begin today, but a transitional monitored return with Ms. Ashcroft. I believe that placement will happen in about 2 weeks. And at that point, she will have the primary placement of the child with her. Visitation has been addressed with Mr. Herrera's. He will have 2 unsupervised week-long visits during this monitored return. St. Francis or the department will assist in transporting the child to and from those visitations. We will meet in Albuquerque for that pickup and drop off. Mr. Herrera's will also have the continued ability to have phone calls or FaceTime, whatever works out that way. During those week-long visits, Miss Ashcroft will have the ability to have phone calls or FaceTime while he is there with Mr. Herrera's. We're asking that this be set at the 5-month mark to ensure that we have enough time to monitor stability in the placement with Miss Ashcroft, and also to enable Mr. Herrera's to build up that relationship and connection with the child, so that we can get some possession and access orders figured out and hopefully be able to dismiss out and they don't have to see our faces again. But that's why, Judge, that we asked to leave the mediation open. Ms. Dickerson agreed with that so that we can pick back up. If this all progresses the way we hope it will, we can pick back up and work to mediate some of those possession and access terms. I don't think I've left anything out, but if I have, anybody here, I'm sure will jump in and let the court know.
All right, Ms. Fouts, are you in agreement with all of that?
We are, but there's just 2 things I need to add. We just need to make sure that during Dad's 1 week periods of possession, he will not consume alcohol during those periods of possession, because there was an issue in the initial trial about how much alcohol he consumes. And since that's been a significant restriction on my client, rightfully so, we just want to make sure neither parent's going to consume alcohol during periods of possession. And then now that this has come up about him referring to him as Ricky, it's going to be the first time he's gone for this long visit or ever been in the home of Dad. it just makes more sense to me that we continue to call him what he's used to being called, which is Zayden. And I hope, certainly I can't ask the court to order him to do that. I just hope that he will.
Mr. Shar, is your client also in agreement with the announcement?
Yes, Your Honor, but my client is going to call him Ricky. That is his name. Also, as far as drinking, there is no restriction as far as him drinking. There's no, he's not been arrested. He's not got an ankle monitor as the mother has. So I would not agree with that as far as if he has a beer or something during the week-long visit. As far as today, my client indicated that he was going to travel to Lubbock, and I don't know if he did that. If so, then he was asking to have a visit today.
Okay. The court will, and Ms. Ebeline, I'm assuming, signed the settlement agreement. Ms. Ebeline, are you in agreement with the settlement that was worked out in the Ashcroft case?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Ebeline, do you have any concerns regarding Ricky?
No. No, he's doing great where he is.
Okay. All right. The court will approve of the parties' settlement agreement and order a transitional monitored return to the mother with all of the visitation, possession, and access described by Ms. Panger in her announcement. And I will set it for
Your Honor, I am Danica's grandmother and Zayden's great-grandmother. I would just like to ask if he is going to be visiting with Ricardo. I live in the same place, and I would really like to be able to see him when he is in our area, because we live in the same place.
Any party have any issue with that?
I have no issue with that, Your Honor.
No. That's completely fine.
I don't think we would have any issue as long as it's something that Mr. Harass is in agreement with during that time, because it is something that that was set up as his ability to be able to spend time with the child. And so just as long as he's getting the big majority of that time, I don't think we'd have a concern with it.
Thank you.
All right. I will set this for another permanency hearing, May the 17th at 9, and a final hearing June the 21st at 9. Okay, we'll be adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
The department versus Janice Carter and Lehman's Carter. Let me have the parties identified.
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is investigator Debbie Werfline.
Belinda Ebeling, attorney for Janice Carter. We are both present and ready, Your Honor.
Sarah Hudman, attorney ad litem for the children, present, ready.
Is this a TFF case, Ms. Panger?
Yes, ma'am, Judge.
Okay, what is the status of service on Ms. Carter?
She has not been served yet, Judge. We don't have a return.
All right, is the department asking Mr. Carter to participate in services?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Ebeline, is your client in agreement with participating in the services that the department is requesting?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Hudman, are you also in agreement?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, I will sign an order to participate for Ms. Carter. What are the issues that we are asking Ms. Carter to address?
Judge, we're asking her to do individual counseling, and we're also asking her to make sure she continues to address her mental health.
Okay, the issues with Ms. Carter are mental health. Do we have any drug concerns with the family?
Yes, Judge. Drug concerns, mental health, and just overall stability, working on financial stability, home stability, things like that. It's kind of a broad, under the umbrella of stability is what I would say, but there are drug concerns, and that's certainly something we want to pay attention to moving forward.
Okay, so are the services that the department is going to be requesting, including drug tests and drug treatment?
Yes, and Mom actually did a drug test for us yesterday. I apologize for that.
That's okay. All right, and from the family-centered treatment folks, let's talk about the family-centered treatment program and let Ms. Carter know what she can be expecting from you folks.
I am here on behalf of Chelsea. I know that Chelsea has met with the mom, but so it's 4 phases. Typically it's about 6 to 9 months, just depending on how well it goes. Chelsea will be in your home for 2 hours twice a week, so a total of 4 hours. She will be able to work with your schedule and just figure out the time that works best for you. But as far as time in the home, it'll be Chelsea there. Sometimes I will stop by just to see if there's anything that I can help you with or support you in any other way. But it'll be 4 hours every week.
Okay, Ms. Carter, you understand what's expected?
Yes.
All right, this is a court order, and I can sanction you for failing to follow a court order if you, for some reason, don't engage in the services and do what they're asking you to do. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Frankly, the worst sanction that could happen in this case if you fail to participate is taking these children out of your home. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we can keep your family together in the same home, but do so that we can provide safety and stability for the kids. You understand that's the whole point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your first review hearing with me will be March the 1st at 9 a.m. We'll talk on that day about how your services are going and be prepared to answer questions for me about what you're learning in these things, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Hudman, any concerns with the children?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Okay. Do we have any safety plan in place that we need to talk about for Ms. Carter?
Yes, Your Honor, there is a safety plan in place where mother will be supervised at all times due to the positive drug screens. The maternal grandmother, Vicki Janes, will be providing that supervision.
You understand, Ms. Carter? You're not to be alone with the children at any time. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that if I get any sort of evidence at all that you have been with these children unsupervised, that the children are probably going to foster care at that point?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand also that if the grandmother allows you to be unsupervised with these children, placement with your grandmother would not be an option.
Yes, ma'am.
Or with your mother, I should say. Okay. And grandmother understands that as well?
Yes, she does. We just had a conversation with her in the breakout room.
Okay. All right. Your first hearing with me will be March the 1st at 9 a.m. Anything else?
Not from the department, Judge.
Okay. Good luck to you, Ms. Carter.
Thank you.
We'll be adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good
Thank you.
weekend. Are you
Y'all
out
too.
from under your tumbleweeds?
No.
Oh,
Almost covered up in them. But
oh, I'm sorry.
workshop.